Honestly, this movie is an example of when you're already in Hollywood and you have the connects and a little bit of money, you can get pretty much anything made because there is no reason to have this movie. Hey everyone, my name is Max Aaron James. This is a review of the movie My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, written and directed by Nia Vardalos. Here we have Tula and other characters that people grew to love in the first movie, and a few that people grew to appreciate in the second have returned and they're going to Greece for a family reunion. It sounds pretty good, celebrating Greek culture and heritage and embracing the roots, especially going back. And I feel there are a few franchises or movies that kind of do this as the franchise progresses, going back to where it all started and recognizing where you come from. So that idea at least is appreciated here. The trailers, I will say, marketed this movie right, and it gave me exactly what I expected based off of the trailer. Not much of an overarching story, just a lot of small conflicts that pretty much get resolved within a few minutes that follow or so. I can see this movie being important for representation and being appreciated with that representation, being written and directed by a Greek person, having Greek actors, Greek characters taking place in Greece, and always saying that something is Greek or doing Greek things, I guess. And this movie is very much more about Greek pride than it is actual Greek culture or heritage or roots because they don't really get into that. They're just very happy to be Greek. A lot of scenes didn't make sense, and a lot of characters' behavior and attitude was inconsistent, especially Elena Kempuri's character, who plays Tula's daughter. Her wardrobe changed a bit dramatically, and her behavior and attitude from one scene to the next didn't match to how we were presented to her in the beginning of the movie. Tula, our main character or our lead character, especially in the first two movies, is kind of brushed off to the side in this movie and feels as if she's more so placed here, and some of the characters are placed here just to remind us that it's part of the trilogy. She doesn't really have any major obstacles or challenges, although she does have a mission here, but we don't really focus on it the same way that we would in other movies, and it kind of feels as if she's just there. Even her husband. These three movies could have been around Greek pride and Greek culture, but have been given different titles because they clearly forget that a wedding is necessary here. I forgot they even needed a wedding in this movie until halfway through when it's mentioned in the actual concept or that element of this trilogy is presented for maybe 10 minutes at most. The movie could have been called My Big Fat Greek Trip, and I think that would have made more sense, especially considering the wedding element feels the most forced out of all the other stories. I think the first movie succeeded because aside from it giving Greek representation, everyone loves a love story, especially with them dealing with the conflicts and challenges coming from friends and family, and them having to overcome that to be together. And the leads were actually leads. Here, the love arcs are very small. There is no chemistry between the actors, and they feel very paper thin, the stories themselves, and I did not care for it. The daughter's love thing was not interesting and did not feel developed. I was more interested in the love story of the characters that actually did get married, but they were given more so only about 15 minutes in the whole movie. But I was more interested in that concept and idea. I think that would have been a better sequel, an immigrant who moves to Greece, who embraces the color. An immigrant who moves to Greece, embraces the culture, is taken part in the culture, almost pretty much grew up in the culture, possibly knows more about the culture than the Greeks who live in America, but they are still not accepted because they aren't Greek. The two leads we had in the first movie have nothing to do here, and because Tula had a daughter, it was almost as if she was obligated to make a story where we follow her daughter, but she has nothing really happened for her. Movie will be a comfort watch for some. Some people may appreciate it, but it's going to be another film that is lost in time and forgotten by me before the end of the year. If I saw a movie with a black cast and every time someone did something, someone said, "That's so black of you," it would be annoying. Or a Mexican cast, and every time they go to a restaurant, someone orders beans with their food and they say, "That's Mexican of him." Why? Anyway, that's all I had to say. I mean, this is like the fifth or sixth plane that's flown over since doing this review, and I've had to stop multiple times. But it's whatever. This is it. Until next time, y'all take care of each other. Check up on one another. Make sure you check up on yourself. And remember, potential has no limits.